What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. Really frustrating day today. We're here for the post-match reactions for the 1-1 draw between Liverpool and Brighton at the Amex. Andrew's off today, so it's just going to be me, Steven, and Wahomey. Screw VAR number one. Just another lackluster performance out of the team, and it's getting pretty frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's like, there's a lot of debate before about the starting lineup, and I know obviously Klopp's hands are tied, but I feel if Henderson was fit for 45 minutes, he should have started. To be honest, I had him. In my original team, I had him down as starting because I think exactly why we suffered today. You saw in the first half how poor it was. Like when he came on, second half he brought leadership, control the game. I just think like in the first half, we weren't controlling the midfield of the park. And I think we also paid for, like Salah has to score in that first few minutes when he hits the ball. And I think Jota has to do a better pass. A better pass, Salah's in for a tap-in. It was a poor, we fell for not taking those two chances in the first half. I just felt like, I get some players are tired. And that's why. But I just felt like, again, like there was just a lack of adherence in midfield. I think in that first half, you can only say that Jenny came away with his head high, really, in terms of actually trying anything. I think Minamino, I think he needs to go to the gym or something and put on some muscle.
Completely.
I think like he's too lightweight. I think that's what he needs, some muscle. And I just felt like we were too sloppy in the first half. And I don't want to single out anyone because I think it was a combination of everyone being poor. But I just feel like there were times where in midfield, we just kept giving the ball away. And especially defence, we kept giving the ball away. So I think that was kind of what kind of hurt us. I know he's young. I'm not singling him out. But I just think like Neco Williams at the beginning of the first half was hurting us because of his inexperience. But then he wasn't the only one because I thought Connolly gave Phillips a runaround. I think he struggled today, to be honest, at times. He did a few good clearances, but I think he was struggling with Connolly's pace and movement. Yeah. And I think that hurt him for most of the game. I don't know. It just feels like a big drop of 2 points. We had a big opportunity here and we blew it.
I completely agree. I mean, we talked about it on the last pod yesterday. I mean, we needed the 3 points today, especially with, Chelsea and Spurs playing tomorrow. There was a huge opportunity for us to potentially be top of the table. Obviously there's still a chance of that, depending on what the results are this week. But just like you said, we can't be dropping points like this, especially against a mid-table team with the injuries that we have and with our schedule coming up. And I thought the starting lineup was very interesting as well because, one of the things that we said was we can't play a 4-2-3-1 with all of the, injuries that we have and the lack of midfield options. And we kind of played more of a 4-2-3-1 today with Minamino, Firmino, Jota and Salah up top. And it was exactly what the problem was that we thought. The Milner and Wijnaldum had to be everywhere in the midfield. And then again, we had zero creativity to get those guys the ball and a spot to be dangerous. I was making some notes on the game, and especially in the first half and even the beginning of the second half, our offense was simply hit the ball over the top and hope Salah gets it. And there was no creativity at all other than in the first 10 minutes. And, when you look at it again, like I know Klopp doesn't have a lot of options, but I just don't think that lineup made sense. And then again, I just don't like the combination of Phillips and Williams next to each other. I think we would have been better off with Phillips next to Robertson. But still, I mean, like you said, Williams was definitely the weak link in our defense. I mean, he's 19. Like, I'm not going to rag on him too much. He could still potentially have a future, but you can just tell he's not playing with any confidence right now. I mean, that PK that he gave up, that's 100% a lack of experience, and not that you have to know not to lunge in right there. And it was just a youngster mistake, a guy who, it's hard because when I would think about Williams playing in this lineup, I would think that we'd have mostly our starters and it'd just be okay, like he'll just sub for Trent. But now he's being asked to do a lot. I think we had 5 or 6 starters out this game. So you're asking a lot of these role players that were designed just to be kind of reserves coming in key moments, like Minamino. Like we're asking him to do way too much. Nico Williams. He's again. I don't think we're asking him to do too much. I just think it's that he doesn't have the proper supporting cast around him to really protect him at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it is now. I think it is a lack of confidence on his side. I think it is a lack of inexperience. Because there were too many times where he was sloppily giving the ball away, and I'm not writing him off, but I just feel that he should have gone on loan instead of been seen as the backup, seen as that work. I think it was Sophie a few episodes back said that he's not ready for the level yet, and I think I'm agree with that more now. I don't think he's ready for first team football. I think But I don't want to be based around him because I think in that first half, we were seeing Minamino dropping too deep. Like he's supposed to be the attacking one, but he's dropping so deep at times. It's like, well, it was only in the second half when Hendo came on, he actually went a bit further. Otherwise, I didn't get what his role in the first half was because he's supposed to be the most advanced, but yet he's dropping so deep to pick up the ball. And I thought, well, no wonder there's no link between attack. And then I felt, we just lack that creativity. And also, I was surprised at how vulnerable we were just for the ball over the top. Simple ball over the top. There wasn't anything special. Just kicked on the ball, and then we were all over the place.
Yep.
Because Brighton, the other guy, when he had that chance, we went through goal. Connolly, he should have scored.
Oh yeah, he should have scored 2 or 3.
Yeah, and I was surprised that I thought we were lucky there because he should have scored because it was just a simple ball at the top that we were relying on Alisson having to always bail us out coming off the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just a bad first half. It's just there's nothing very much you can really talk about it. And we were lucky we should have taken our chances the first 2 ones, and we were lucky to go in at half time 0-0.
No, I completely agree, especially on the Minamino front because I thought we would have been better with having more of a guy like Firmino coming back for the ball. I mean, because number 2, I think Firmino is just much more creative than Minamino is. But number 2, like you said, Minamino does not have the body for the Premier League right now. Will he ever have it? I don't know. But he gets pushed off the ball way too easily. And I think we could have used Bobby a little bit more, having him track back a little bit, having him bang bodies because he's a little bit of a bigger guy and he's used to it. But yeah, he is just way too easy to knock down. I feel like he was on the ground 8, 9, or 10 times in the game today. He has the quality. I mean, he definitely has the quality when he's playing, his best football. And even Liverpool players wanted him on this team, but he's getting the run out. And again, I know we don't have the usual supporting cast, but I was actually just expecting a little bit more out of him today. I thought this would have been a good game for him.
It should have been, and I think he played in his Salzburg position because he played as a 10 kind of thing in that role. But I just think in that first half, like I said, because we saw the difference in what Hendo does in the second half. He allows people to play further forward, and I think while Ginny plays well sometimes in the 6, I don't think he doesn't allow what Henderson does in terms of allowing people to play forward. He doesn't have that zip in terms of how Henderson moves the ball and leadership and instruction. So I think Minamino, it could have worked if Minamino had Henderson behind him and Gini on the left and then him at the furthest, it could have worked. So I think it was a much more improved performance in the second half when Henderson came on. I just think Minamino, I think his problem is we don't play how he wants to play, to be honest.
Yeah.
We don't. The formation he's good at it. We don't play that formation, so I think that's the struggle. And I don't think he is a 9. That he can't play the false 9. Yeah, he can't play on the side of the wide forwards. And I think that's his issues. We don't play how Salzburg do in terms of the formation. But he wasn't the only one. I think it was just there was tired legs out there. I was surprised Milner started, to be honest. Because that's why he got injured. Because of starting, because I was surprised him playing 3 games. I understood Matip not starting, which is why he was rested.
Yep.
And I thought Milner would be the same. So I was surprised at that. And I was surprised he didn't play Jones instead of Milner, because he would at least have a bit more energy. There was just, in that first half, there were just some surprising things that I saw. And I knew we weren't at the races, and I thought, we have to make changes at halftime. That's what I was saying. I was tweeting to him, we have to make changes at halftime.
No, and that was the thing, because I think when you play the 4-2-3-1 like we did, you need to have a guy like Henderson or Thiago in that pivot, because, again, Wijnaldum and Milner worked hard, but we had no way to link up with the front four at all, and that's why we just kept playing long balls to them. And credit to Brighton, because I thought them lining up in the 3-5-2 and with us playing the 4-2-3-1 really did wonders for them, because I think the goal that we scored with Jota, I think that was the first time the entire game where we actually were able to play through our width. I think that was the first time that we allowed Robinson to get forward and play. Them playing the 3-5-2 really clogged our wings. Nico Williams obviously doesn't offer the same thing as Trent going forward, but Robertson really didn't have an opportunity to get forward either. And then when you don't have that creative midfielder in the middle, we couldn't go through the middle either. And they outnumbered us, 3-2. So there was really no way for us to get that same fluidity that we're used to seeing out of Liverpool. And I think that's what led to our first half being as poor as it was. And then you look at Henderson, he comes on to start the second half. And then, after about the first 5 minutes, when he got comfortable into the game, all of a sudden things started opening up. And I completely agree with you. I would have rather started with Henderson, put Brighton on the back foot. That would have really just changed the entire momentum of the game, made him stay more compact and all of that. But, without him in the first half, and we could just see how influential his leadership is, we were chaotic and just wide open and gave them way too many opportunities and gave them confidence early that they could hang with us.
Yeah, I think you noticed as well, that's why I think the front three were poor in the first half. Jota, Salah, Firmino all struggled in the first half because there wasn't that. We weren't allowing Robertson to really get forward and influence the game in that way in the first half. So he wasn't being put in positions where he could put dangerous crosses in. And we weren't really controlling the game. We didn't have control in the first half. It was Brighton that were the ones that were controlling midfield and looking more dangerous. We were struggling to control that game. And I think that's what Henderson brought in the second half, is that drive, the quickness in terms of tempo, the vision and the leadership. And I think that's what was missing. And I think that's also why, I hate to say it, but today is like a perfect game. Like what Thiago would have been perfect because of being able to break down defensive lines and play with a faster tempo and stuff. But Henderson changed the game for me and really allowed Gini and Minamino to then push further forward. And it also allowed Robbo, that blanket, to push forward. And that's why I think the goal came, because, there was the first time we said that he was able to put a cross in or put a pass in that was in a dangerous area. And then Jota, the link-up play, and then Jota's goal was just outstanding. That was just beautiful finishing. And I thought for me, that should have been the winning goal, to be honest. At that point, I thought, look, just see the game out. That's the winning goal. And I felt after we scored, I didn't think we played well. After we scored, we didn't play well. We weren't keeping the ball well for me either. I think we were still giving the ball away sloppily. And there were quite a few times where I thought Minamino gave the ball away. Or there was a few times as well that Gini gave the ball away in the second after that goal. And I think we weren't keeping the ball well enough to, that's why Brighton had that late flurry. And I thought we just weren't defending properly.
Yeah, no, I kind of noticed that too, because I thought we played a much better in the second half, and then all of a sudden we get that goal, and even the disallowed goal, the Mane disallowed goal. After that, we just were completely flat. I feel like when we saw that disallowed goal go in the back of the net, we felt like, okay, we got these guys, we got them exactly where we want them. We're starting to break them, and then I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Milner injury, and having to bring Jones on, putting him at right back, and on Mane too, but. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden they just started playing with confidence again and came at us. And, yeah, they ended up getting on it was a bullshit penalty, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But, no, you're absolutely right. And I kind of wanted to touch on that as well with Milner. How bad do you think the injury is? The good thing that I saw was that he stayed on the sideline, which is usually a pretty good sign. It may have been more of fatigue and starting to feel a little bit of something in the hamstring and just getting off before. But what were your thoughts? Do you think it's something more major than that?
He literally pulled his hamstring, or he tweaked his hamstring, where he was holding his leg. And I saw when he sat down in the stand, they were doing some kind of work with him. I think he's definitely at the Ajax game.
Oh yeah.
Definitely out of that. The Wolves game probably could be, but I think I've heard Trent's probably back for that. So, but he's definitely out of the Ajax game, and that's a blow for us because if he's out for both those games, Wolves and Ajax, and Trent's not fit, we're in trouble. That's a blow. But I think that affected us big time because I think like Jones isn't the right back, so I don't understand why we were playing him at right back. I didn't understand why we didn't go to a back three, bring on Reece Williams and play with 3 centre backs, and then at least you have more experience in that way. I didn't understand why I'm playing Jones because all Brighton's attacks came down Jones' side.
Every time,
You can't play there, and it was stretching Henderson having to then go over to cover and leaving the big gaps because then
leaving Ronaldo by himself in the center of the park. Yeah,
I didn't understand that because then that's how the cross came in because for the penalty which we'll get onto later, but that cross came in from Jones' side because they were having no joy on that side. So I didn't agree with the decision to bring Jones off for Milner. I didn't understand it. But yeah, I'm thinking Milner's probably going to be out for at least maybe a couple of weeks, and that's not going to be good for us.
Yeah, I mean now we're going to have to go with Neco no matter what. He's Neco. Might as well put his name on the team sheet now for Ajax because he's going to have to play, and we'll see beyond that. I think, to be honest with you, I think a guy like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain would have been really useful today as well. Not only for his role in the midfield, but he's played right wing back before. He could have filled in there pretty well. And I think especially if you had a guy like Henderson protecting him in the center of the park, I think Ox could actually be a decent deputy there if we needed to have him play right back. But hopefully Trent will be back soon. We won't have to worry about it. But what did you think of Mane's performance? Because other than him, scoring the goal on offsides and it being ruled back, I don't really recall him being around the ball too much.
I think when Mane came on, I didn't think he offered anything. Like he wasn't. I think he still looked knackered. He came on, tired performance, and he looked like how he did against Atlanta, tired, because he wasn't doing any of his normal runs. There's a time where he gave such a poor pass to Robbo, Gini. We ran through, and always just simple pass to Gini, just overhit it, and I was like, "What is that?" And I just thought, I thought like he didn't offer anything. He had no impact in the game when he came on, and I think that's purely because of tired legs. He's still knackered, and I don't think Klopp was expecting to have to bring him on today, or wanted to have to bring him on today, and I think we made a mistake taking off Salah. He might not have been doing much, but at least Salah he did more than Mane did when he came on, and I think it was a mistake to take off Salah.
He was the only guy who had energy up top, I thought. I know Jota got the goal, and he looked a little bit better in the second half, especially in the first half. I thought he was the only guy who was actually trying to make runs and trying to create something. He was creating space for guys, trying to get some movement. I understand the substitution because of our injuries and all of that, and I know he didn't play last game, but he had been playing a lot of minutes leading up to before he had the COVID stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think if we weren't up 1-0, if it was still 0-0, he probably would have kept him in the game. I thought Klopp thought that we could see it out, but yeah, I mean, I think Minamino probably would have stayed on too. I don't know what sub I would have done instead, but I just would not have taken him off the game. I think even when he doesn't have the ball, he still draws a lot of attention. And in his movement, he always has at least 2 defenders looking at him. So and I think especially when Mane came on, that would have helped Mane too. I think would have gave Mane a little bit more space and more opportunity. So, I don't want to disagree with Klopp, but it was also just kind of like, and I know he's kind of bootstrapped, but still, that was another head scratcher because he was really, in my opinion, the best out of the front 4. Actually, I'd say Firmino was probably the best of that front 4 for me, but still, this didn't make sense.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. And I think the commentator said in the game as well, you take off Salah and you don't go on to win this game, then you're going to think, why did you take him off? So I think Mane just struggled, and I thought he was going to take Minamino off in that way and push Bobby back and then do it that way. If he's going to keep doing like the four strikers up top, I thought push Bobby back and then bring on Mane on if he's going to do it that way for Minamino. Because I don't think Minamino, even in the second half, I don't think he offered enough. I don't think he had enough influence on the game to warrant to see that the full 90 minutes. And I don't want to be harsh on him, but just for that, I don't think he warranted enough to see out the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think if we weren't up 1-0, I think if it was still a tie game, Minamino definitely would have came off. I think Klopp just said, he has the fresher legs. He can work. We can rely on him to just work hard. And even though he's not influencing the game that much, at least defensively, he can track back and use his fresh legs compared to the other guys. But yeah, I mean, he definitely again was another pedestrian performance. Like didn't really offer us much of anything other than just kind of running around and just using his fresh legs. Other than that, but he even in that way, I don't think even defensively, I don't think he was that great at pressing. Like I think if Bobby was in that role, Bobby would have done a better job than he did. And that was the other thing that bothered me was because I felt like Bobby today actually played well when he had the ball, and he did create that Salah chance that was ruled off for offside. I think we need to try to find his feet more, and because he wasn't tracking back as much as he usually does, he wasn't getting that opportunity to. And I think that would have helped us as well, just trying to find his feet more. But instead, we were finding a guy like Minamino, and just nothing was happening.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. Because when the ball did come to Minamino, he wasn't really doing much with the ball to then create anything. I think he's just struggling in England. I think it is that he's struggling in England big time. And he's struggling to play Liverpool for his team. And that's why, I mean, because it's a $7 million deal, it's not such a bad blow, but I think he is struggling in England. I don't think right now it's really working for him.
No, it's not. And for me, it's almost just like I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to rip on the guy, but it's now almost just kind of seeing like, okay, we paid £7 million to grow our influence out in Asia. Like that's almost kind of what I'm starting to feel like. It's like, like at least we get that. At least we're gonna get more fandom out of the Asian fan base. But I think he needs to put on at least 5 pounds of muscle. Like that's the minimum start there, because anytime there's any sort of slight contact on him, he's going down. And it's just with how physical the Premier League is, you can't be that soft.
Yeah, I was thinking like, how come they're not? Doesn't he do like weights? Like look at Salah, how strong Salah is, or how Mane is.
Even Keita, look how Keita's gotten stronger.
Yes, they're not massively, they're not beasts, but they've got enough muscle and the six packs and stuff to know that if you push me, I can push back. I'm not going to be pushed off the ball, obviously. And I think Minamino is really skinny when I look at him, in the arms and the legs and stuff. So I think that's I don't want to criticize him over the top, but I just feel like that's what he needs to do to build up muscle. But we can't change it in terms of how it is right now. But I think like it just didn't work for him today. I think that's the key thing here. It just didn't work.
Yeah. But let's touch on the elephant in the room, that is VAR, because I have 2 issues with VAR today. Number one, and I'll start with the less extreme one first. That Salah goal that was ruled off. I did think he was offside. And before I even get into it, it's at the point now where after any goal, I don't even celebrate. Like I'm literally just sitting there like, okay, wait, what's VAR gonna say? Like there's no more of that instant passion right away and just the craziness. But again, all I'm asking for is consistency out of VAR. Like it's not going to be perfect, but come on, just give me some consistency. And when you look at that Salah one, they drew the line from his shoulder, and you've seen in the past it's been drawn from the elbow. I don't understand, because when you look at it, the line is from the Brighton defender's shoulder, and at times with Liverpool, they've done it from the elbow. I don't understand what the line is anymore. Like, what is it? Is it the shoulder? Is it the elbow? Like, what is it? And again, like the lines are pretty much right on top of each other. When you have to go into the 3D lines, that's when it's like, is this a clear and obvious error? I don't know, but it's just a little knife in my chest.
Yeah, what I was going to say is like, I can't remember who posted it, but someone said by the letter of the law, it's offside because his toes off. So
yeah,
So we can't really complain on that. And I also tweeted afterwards. I said, look, I was obviously saying VAR robbed us, but I think if I think of situations, Mane was miles offside for his one. There's no debate about that. Yeah, he's miles
I think the Salah one was a good call too. I'm just saying, draw the line, be consistent with where you draw the line.
Yeah. It is annoying, and I don't like how VAR has been used, but it's annoying because I do feel his toes offside by how they're going, and and then I think with the penalty, it's a soft penalty. But I was saying before, we've had so many soft penalties given to us last year. So in laws of average, it's soft, and you'd hate to be given. But if that was Salah and an opposition defender did that, we'd be screaming penalty.
See, I don't know, man. I don't think so, man. I don't think I would have. I don't honestly, the fact that even before the VAR thing came up, there was no Brighton players that were even saying that was there was no one appealing for it. And then another thing on that play is Welbeck went down 3 seconds after the play, and no one even commented on the fact that he dove and was faking an injury. If Salah did that, it would be the main story right now on Twitter was how Salah dove 3 steps after he got hit. But when you actually look at the play, it was more, in my opinion, it was more of a 50-50 ball between them. Welbeck had to reach out for it, and they both missed the ball. They hit each other, and I don't know. Again, I understand why it was called because there was contact with the feet, but I just thought it was a 50-50 challenge at that point, and I don't think you can blow the whistle on that.
Well, I think
I wouldn't be complaining if that went for Liverpool. So I get it, but again, we've seen penalties not be called. And look at obviously the classic Van Dijk one with Pickford, that was not called, and that was way worse of a tackle. Again, just for me, it just comes down to consistency. If I see this weekend that same play happens and they don't call the penalty, I just don't understand because that keeps happening. There's no consistency with VAR.
Yeah, I agree. There's inconsistency, but I think I'd still say if that was Salah or Mane, I'm screaming penalty. And I've seen softer ones like that given for us previously. I've seen softer ones like that given for us. But I thought I can see the opposition why they're complaining that is marginal. But at the end of the day, Robertson shouldn't be doing that in the first place. He shouldn't be trying to swing like that, to be honest. And I knew when I saw 5 minutes extra time added on, I knew we were going to concede. I thought straight away we were going to concede. Just the way we were defending, the way we were playing, I thought, we're not seeing this one out. It's going to be they're going to score. So I think I said after the game we had ourselves to blame, not for the penalty, but just overall play. Maybe last year we won that, we scraped through it, but I think this year, with the injuries and the amount of games we're playing, I think we were just too lackluster.
Yep.
And that cost us a day. And it's, for me, it's, I said before, it's a massive 2 points dropped. And it's just a point as well, because if you rest players for Atalanta, you have to win today. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And so it makes the Atalanta game look stupid now that you rested players because you rested it. It reminds me of that time years ago when Rodgers rested players for Real Madrid. When we got battered. Yep. We played Chelsea in the weekend and we still lost. We still. So it's one of those things you have to be winning. And I just feel today's it's a bad one. And we need players back immediately. We need players like Trent and Thiago back immediately.
Yeah.
Because we are suffering.
I think this is where we're missing Trent, man, because everyone knows that we're not going to attack that right side anymore. So now they have shut down Robertson, and then with no Thiago, we can't attack through the middle either. But I think you tweeted it out after the game. The VAR calls went against us, but it comes down to we dropped those points, and it's because of Liverpool. Liverpool, we have no one to blame but ourselves. We allowed Brighton to hang around. We should have had plenty of more opportunities to be dangerous, with them. I thought even thinking about the game, I thought Brighton had more dangerous opportunities than we did throughout the entire game. You know, they got through our back line, you know, much more than we got through theirs. And that's unacceptable. I don't care how many injuries we have. That's unacceptable with the quality that Liverpool's supposed to have. And, you know, again, I know I'm missing 5 starters, but you can't, you know, all the top teams have the same problem. You know, we all have to rotate. We all have to get through this time. And like you said, you can't rest guys against Atalanta and then come here and go to at fucking Brighton where they've only won 1 game all season and not get the result. That's unacceptable. And you know, they had injuries too. Maupay left the game early. You know, he was playing dangerous. Lallana came on. Lallana came on and came off within 10 minutes, I think. You know, so they had their problems too. And they definitely were not full strength. No Tariq Lamptey either. If Tariq Lamptey was in the game, he probably would have been screwed. So, yeah, man, like, no one to blame but ourselves. And what I'd really like to see is somebody other than Jordan Henderson. I would love to see somebody just take Liverpool by the balls and say, I'm going to carry us during this time. And there really hasn't been one person that's really kind of stepped up and said, you know what, I'm going to take this team and lead us until we get our guys back.
Well, I will say Ginny has tried. Like, he did play in terms of like possession and his work rate. He did try in terms of like today, but he doesn't do it to the level of, say, as obvious as Henderson does, in way he can change the game in that way, in that sense.
That's it. No, that's the thing with Ronaldo, because I think he's been our best player throughout this entire spell, and I think he's really one of the few guys who put in a good performance today. But that's exactly what it is that his role in the Liverpool squad isn't to really change the game. You know, that's not his. His is really to control the game, you know, shut down their attack and doing that sort of thing. He's not that creative guy, you know, and the guy who's going to go out and get a goal for us. And so either somebody in that front 3, front 4, or, you know, Curtis Jones, somebody like that is going to be, all right, I'm going to create something out of nothing and make it happen. But no, I do think that Gini Wijnaldum played another great game today, and I think that he's definitely been the one bright spot for us in the last couple of weeks.
I think again, you know, obviously that's why, you know, I hate to say it again, that Thiago was signed, because he was specifically signed to be that person to help you carry the game and help you, you know, pick the team up in those days like today where you're struggling, you're not playing well, and carry over the line. And I think obviously him not being there is a massive blow for us again. So I don't know. I just think, like, you know, we have to just hope that Chelsea and Tottenham draw tomorrow, and that results go away, because we've also given Man City win, and they win their game in hand, they catch up with us again, close us down. So, you know, we can't afford any more draws now up until Christmas. We can't. Every game's a must win now for us, because we've got Fulham, Wolves, Fulham, Palace, Spurs, Newcastle. We have to win all those games. Those are all must-win games now, 100%.
Yep.
You know,
can't drop anything. Yep.
Yeah, there's no excuse now. Because remember last, I think it was 2 years ago, we realised the cost of draws when we lost City. Like, if we had been Everton or Man United, we won the league title. Yep. Simple as that. And draws kill you.
Mm-hmm. And two, now, like, with resting Atalanta, now we have to win Ajax and Midtjylland too, so they can't take those games off either. So we're in a pickle for the next 4 to 5 weeks here. Hopefully we can get some guys back and stay healthy, but it's going to be a tall task. And if somehow we're able to get through this festive period, no more injuries, and we get max points, we might be okay. But it's definitely not going to be the runaway like it was last year. That's for damn sure. And looks like City's already up 1-0 in the first 20 minutes. So
yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Burnley were going to roll over for them, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, who's your man of the match?
Wijnaldum. And I'll put it this way. I mean, if you want to pick a Liverpool player, it's going to be Wijnaldum. But otherwise, I would probably say it was, like, you know, like I want to say Connolly, but he blew so many good chances. So I know. I mean, I think from the Liverpool side, it would have to be Wijnaldum.
I'm going Henderson, purely because he changed the game for us. If he hadn't come on,
Fair.
we don't score and we don't have any influence in that game whatsoever. And I think Brighton would have won the game if he doesn't, if he doesn't come on. I think he was that pivotal at half time. That was one of those changes at half time. Klopp had to do it. Take Neco off, bring on Hendo straight away, and bring that influence. So, I think as well. I think we are just blown because today would have been a great game to bring on someone like Shaq on. That's a downside. Like Shaqiri would have been great to come off the bench. He could have done a pass that he did for Jota a couple of games back where he flipped the ball through and we won. So not having him in Keita is killing us.
Yeah, it really is.
So yeah, it's just I don't know. We have to just accept we got the point and just dust ourselves off, and we need to get back to winning ways against Ajax, then beat Wolves, and then hope that the results go our way.
Yeah, we're gonna need some help. Gonna need some help from our fellow Premier League teams not in the top 6, but we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting festive period. I think we have 9 more games or 8 more games until January 1st, so it's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be seeing a lot of us, but that pretty much wraps up this episode. But for everyone out there, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It's going to be another quick turnaround. We got the Ajax game coming up soon, so we are going to be back in a couple days having another awesome guest, Claire's Customs, coming on. So go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Frustrating day, but win, lose, or draw, we always got to support our lads. So up the Reds, and we'll see you next time, everybody.
So yeah, up the Reds.